To get started with this project, I cut a 1x6x8 down to 24 inches. I attached my boards using a Craig jig. I just drilled some holes and then used a 1.5 inch screw to attach the boards. I didn't use any glue or anything. And then once you get everything all put together, I just sanded the front and got out all the blemishes and the edges to get off all the ridges. After assembling the boards, your workspace is going to be approximately 18 inches by 24 inches. For this project, I'm going to be using a white chalk paint. You can use acrylic if you want to, or any different color. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm just going to be changing things up a bit this video. Once you're done painting, let your paint dry. The chalk paint only took about 5 minutes, but if you are using acrylic, it's going to take much longer. But you do want your canvas to be completely dry before you start stenciling. So for this project, I'm going to be using this magic cover. Unfortunately, I ran out of my transfer paper, so that's exactly why I'm not using my vinyl. The upside of using the magic cover is it's super easy to remove from the backing and place onto your board. You can reposition it if you need to, and it's really easy. I also want to mention the magic cover is a great alternative if you run out of your vinyl and you need something in a snap. You can just go run to Walmart and pick it up. It's only like about $2, and it's about 16 feet long by 12 inches, I think, or 13. And it's really a great alternative. The only downside of the magic cover is that you have more of a chance for it to bleed, and if your magic cover gets a little bit too hot or you leave it on too long, the stickiness from the magic cover is going to start sticking onto your board. But you can always solve that issue by just taking a piece of sandpaper and scrubbing it off. So I was looking up a couple things on how to stop your stencil from bleeding so much. You can try the Mod Podge, but a lot of people were having problems with the ink coming up after you peel off the stencil because the Mod Podge will just peel up with it. And another one was use your background paint over your stencil. This will help seal it, and if it does happen to bleed, it would more than likely push out all the background paint and you won't have much bleeding. After my first layer of white has dried, I'm starting my black. I'm using a black chalk paint. You're going to want to use the same dabbing motion as you did with the white. This will help it from bleeding. As you see in the video, I'm using a makeup sponge. I do not like to use the sponge brushes because they just soak up too much paint and it does have a lot of waste to it. But regardless on what you use, I suggest you use a dabbing motion. This will help it to not raise the vinyl up and have less bleeding. Here's a little quick tip for you. If you do use a makeup sponge, all you have to do to clean it is run it underneath some warm water, put a little soap on it, clean it, rinse it out, and let it dry for a little while, and it's pretty much good as new. What I'm doing right here is I'm putting way too much paint on, and this is something that you should not do. I'm not sure why I did it, but you want to do more of a dry brushing. You're going to want to get your paint, dab it on something like a tissue, napkin, or a part of your other canvas, like how I have it taped off. Don't dab right into the paint and go straight to the lettering. It will make your stencil or your paint bleed. Here I am just getting what I missed with my sponge. Not necessary if you don't want to do it. After you're done doing this step, let it dry, and then you can peel off your stencil. After touching up some of my letters, I draped some jute underneath my wording. I added a few decorative clips for my photos, stapled it in the back, and then framed it. Hope you enjoyed, and if it was helpful to you, please subscribe.